Driven by Dennis Wilson, 23 and 8 from 50 starts, prize money getting close to 400,000. Sam, he led them easily in the Cordina Sprint. Can he lead again?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt he can lead if Dennis Wilson so desires. We'll talk more about that after the race. We'll look at this replay. Look, he had a plan on Friday night, Dennis Wilson, and it was to get this horse into the Miracle Mile. He went out to run time and he held on and he went 1:56 in doing so.
Wally Walton and Pacini next. Seals to Sam. He's running a mighty race in front. Smooth Satin and Wally Walton are trying to get to him. They're not going to get him. Seals to Sam's run them ragged in the second. Sprint and a big win. Seals to Sam by a length. Wally Walton.
Then the cheer went up from the table when Barrier 1 came out.
Yeah, I think Nathan Butler was the largest cheerer there, but certainly a good marble. Like I would have liked anywhere from 1 to 3, and Darren got 3, and Hearts Legend got 2, but we got the 1, so I got 1 of me 3, so I'm very happy.
You've been driving him quiet in the last couple of years, but he has got explosive gate speed, and on Friday night he showed it.
Yeah, the horse has always had a tendency to over-race if stirred up early, and we spent a few years settling him down and teaching him to race, and we won the Nugget that way, and I think the Australian Derby, similar fashion, and a few other good races. And tonight, or last night, I said to Reg, look, I tried to restrain him at Newcastle, he got cranky and didn't run a true race, so I said to Reg, look, the next 2 races are mile races, so let's do it and let's turn him loose. So we done that and went out, had to run a bit of time to catch the selector's eye, and it worked, and we're here and we're in the race.
Okay, you've seen the barrier draw. Who do you think is the hardest to beat?
Look, I really believe Double Identity is a horse that's going very good at the moment. I wouldn't throw Smooth Satin out the window, don't worry about barrier draw. But I went home and watched the replay half a dozen times and that, and I crossed him, but he probably could have come out a bit quicker, and Steve didn't overbeat up on him or anything, and I ran along at a good clip just to keep him back at me wheel, you know. And he'll strip a much better and much fitter horse coming Friday night too, that horse.
He's a bold-going horse, Seals to Sam. He's a commanding-looking horse on the track, isn't he?
Yes, he is, and Dennis Wilson holds the key on Friday night. Dennis is probably the most honest trainer to the media that I've encountered, as honest as anyone. If you ask him a question, he basically gives you the right answer. But even on Saturday night when he drew barrier 1, I felt a bit ashamed to have to say, hey, you're going to hold the lead or take a sit, because he looked at me and said, there's no way I'm telling anyone what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And he's going to keep it close to his chest. Personally, I don't think he can win the Miracle Mile, but he will play the most vital part in who does.
Plenty of people thought Dennis won the Miracle Mile a couple of years ago on At It Again in that controversial photo finish. And I'm sure
5 of them were Dennis.
Yeah, and deep down, I think he'd love to square up for that one. That's the one that got away.
No doubt.
All right, Harry, your opinion of Seals to Sam?
Oh, he's a speedster. He's got to be a big chance. I personally think if Seals to Sam goes away very smartly in the Miracle Mile, what's going to take the lead off him? Double Identity. You'll have to keep going around and get the lead off him.
Hey, Harry's putting pressure on everybody.
Oh, it's good to see too. Actually, they should show you some respect after all.
The oldest one there, that's right.
Hearts Legend, the Victorian, Karen Gath, will be the reins person. This is the youngest horse in the field, as we have a look at the graphic on the horse. Only $138,000 in prize money. Trainer is Andy Gath. The horse won the Legends Mile at its most recent start. And look, this is its biggest test to date. I think Andy, no, I don't think, I know Andy will be hoping Seals to Sam holds the lead so he can duck straight in behind Hearts Legend onto the back of the leader, and that is exactly what they'll be hoping for. This is the Legends Mile. Led from start to finish, 1:56 the time on a track that wasn't conducive to fast times. The first quarter was 27 and a little bit, so he can come off the gate okay too.
Hearts Legend 4 metres in front of Shaker Maker, then Troublesome Fella, a Blazing Star, Jamestown. Hearts Legend a clear leader turning. Shaker Maker has to find something, then Troublesome Fella. Hearts Legend's 3 metres in front. Shaker can't get to him. Hearts Legend's in front. Hearts Legend's going to lead all the way. Hearts Legend first from Jamestown on the run of the race.
Well, Hearts Legend, you probably don't know a great deal about him, Peter.
No, only that race there at Moonee Valley. I watched the race that night, obviously, because of the involvement of Shaker Maker. It went very, very well.
He's lightly raced, Harry. Does he have the seasoning to win a Miracle Mile?
I think if Andy Gath trained him, he's got the seasoning to win a Miracle Mile. He just seems to win everything,
They put a bit of seasoning into him, don't they? If you've seen that track they work on, mate, on that big hill where they climb something like, I think it's 17 metres over 400. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
put
he'll be tough
seasoning in
enough.
him.
He'll be tough
Certainly
enough.
does. All right, Sammy, you're finished with Hearts Legend, so we move on to Joe Fess, the veteran of 59 starts. He's won 27 of them. He's won over $500,000, and he's a tough doer horse.
The barrier draw, remarkably enough, may see Joe Fess start favourite. He was outside the leader to win the Newcastle Mile. From the arm, he'll be the first horse outside Seals to Sam. So if Dennis hands up, it's more than likely that Joe Fess will be the one that gets the lead. And for that reason, it's quite possible he'll start the favourite in the race. Darren Hancock was more than happy with barrier 3.
Saturn and Double Identity warming up. The leader, Joe Fess. Double Identity's coming after Joe Fess. Joe Fess in front. Photo. Maybe Joe Fess from Double
Darren, there was a roar from the Seals to Sam crowd when they drew barrier 1, but I think just a bigger roar when Joe Fess came out with number 3.
Yeah, I couldn't be happy with the draw in that field. Yeah, we're drawing really good, and he's probably never had a real good draw, and he can leave the gate pretty good, so I'm pretty happy.
Went super at Newcastle. Is that probably the best mile he's run?
Yeah, he did go 55 here one night, and he went 54 outside Courage under fire in Newcastle, and he sat outside him up there, and he ran second. He ran a big race, but yeah, look, he'll go quicker. He'll probably go quicker if we have to.
Is he a real mile horse?
Yeah, look, he's got the guts and determination, and he's got enough gate speed. So he's going to be handy, and you've really got to be pretty handy in them mile races around Harold Park. There's a bit of speed inside me, but I mean, I'm going to be outside the leader pretty quick, and we can see what happens then.
Okay, who do you think the hardest to beat? Probably Seals to Sam's going to lead. The others are going to be sitting on your back.
Yeah, look, Double Identity's going very good. His run at Newcastle and in Brisbane was super. He is going very good, and you can't really leave Smooth Satin out because he'll probably just go back at the start, and if it's a hard run race, they'll be running home.
I think those orange colours of Darren's are going to be in the firing line in the straight.
He's actually going to wear this Knights of Glory colours.
Is he?
Yeah, so it's something that he's going to do right up until the Knights of Glory Carnival.
Yeah.
But I don't think the colours that he wears matters all that much. Harry, Joe Fess couldn't sit outside Double Identity in Queensland. Can Double Identity sit outside Joe Fess?
I'd like to be able to say yes as confident as but Joe Fess happens to cross Seals to Sam and lead. It's going to make it very hard for everyone else. He can sit out, he can just keep running, and we'll have to be alongside him and keep him running, I guess.
Yeah, well, Yulestar was one of the invitees from New Zealand, a horse that has been here before. 12 months ago, came and sat outside the leader when third. It was a differently run race last year than it's going to be this year as we have a look at his statistics. 21 wins from 65 starts. He's over the $1 million in prize money. Yulestar has only won 2 races since triumphant in the 2001 Inter-Dominion Grand Final in Brisbane. One of them, the New Zealand Free-for-All, in a record time mile rate of 1:55. 21-year-old record was broken on this occasion, but it was set up by the leader, Young Rufus.
Yulestar and Stars and Stripes, and down the outside, Fact and On Verba. Yulestar back to his best, and Yulestar wins it. Yulestar wins the free-for-all. Young Rufus, Stars and Stripes.
Now, will he be wearing his block eye winkers in the Miracle Mile?
That I don't know, but each week on this show, Tappy, right towards the end, we always seem to run out of time. So I'm going to cut to the chase here. Yulestar can't win. Next horse, please.
All right. Young Rufus bombed the start in the New Zealand Cup, ran a much better race in the free-for-all, run down in the last little bit there by Yulestar. He's sparingly raced too, only 32 starts. Let's go back 3 runs, and here is the Flying Mile at Ashburton. Panky's Pacer is the one looking for the inside run.
And further out eastward, Geordie putting in a big run down the outside. As they run down 100 to go, Young Rufus. Eastward, Geordie's putting in a great run. And through on the inside, Panky's Pacer. But it's Young Rufus, Panky's Pacer. Pick me pockets, they go to the line. Young Rufus. He's won the Ashburton Flying Stakes.
Can he win?
He can. He's a good horse. He has turned into a bit of a bridesmaid, but he has a dazzling turn of speed. He won a race through the Inter-Dominion Carnival at Harold Park when he sat off the speed and just came with that one wonderful turn of speed. Harry, from your perspective, what you'd be most interested in is getting in front of him at the start, I imagine.
I don't know a lot about him, only what I've seen there. I'd like to be in front of all of them at the start, Sam, but I'm not going to be able to be.
Yeah, he's not a quick beginner, though. I mean, obviously, you have to get in front of a couple to drive him the way you'd really want to go into that first
Well, I'm not
quarter.
going to change my driving tactics.
No.
everyone in the race will know. So if they're out there pushing me faster, well, that's what we've got to do.
Yeah, you're going to drive your horse the way he has to be driven to give optimum performance. As simple as that, isn't it?
Being driven. That's
because if you did anything differently, it's foreign to the horse.
Yeah, that's the go.
Yeah,
and we don't want to die wondering.
No, exactly. Well, here are the statistics on your great horse, Harry. Double Identity, the veteran of 74 starts. Look at that record, Sam. 31 and 19, and you'd think that prize money tally would be bigger.
Yes, it will be. It'll get there. Yeah. Going best in Australasia, by that far it's not even close. The query is Harold Park. The query is the wide draw. But from those two things, better odds. I'm sticking with him.
Yep. Can I make a statement by echoing the comments of a learned gentleman with whom I spoke during the week? If this race were being run on a 1,000 metre track at this point in time, I would think Double Identity was a good thing.
There's no doubt about that, and just from the draw, you have to take a few risks, and obviously Harold Park, but you know the odds makers are going to take a few risks with him, and I'm happy to stick with him.
The history-making 7-horse field sees last year's winner Smooth Satin parked on the extreme outside. 55 starts, 32 and 16, and look at that chunk of prize money, $1,058,000.
Well, I've seen the Smooth Satin team completely devastated twice in 2 days. They sat stony silenced after he was beaten in the sprint there on Friday night, and they weren't exactly over the moon when the horse drew barrier 7 last night. But Jenny Turnbull, smile girl, because things aren't all that bad. This horse can definitely make it back-to-back Miracle Miles next week. We'll speak more about it shortly.
Hancock pulls the stick. Smooth Satin is wearing him down. Courage under fire. Smooth Satin. Smooth Satin, I think, got him on the line.
Stephen, barrier 7, probably not what you wanted?
No, that's right. The pressure's off. We'll just see what happens.
You've come from barrier 12 before, so it's probably not a real worry for you.
No, it's a lap shorter, but yeah, we just hope they cutthroat and he might come over the top if he can get a card into it. You just don't know, but it's just an honour to be in it anyhow. That's the main thing.
You see the pressure's off, so obviously the tactic will be just drag back and drive for luck.
Oh, I suppose so, because there's a lot of speed there, and yeah, well, depends how he is up on the gate, but at the moment, yeah, you've got to come around that first turn 7 wide, so he's probably going to run his first quarter sensational as it is, so we'll just see.
You've had 3 runs back. Is he getting back to where he was last season?
I think every run's getting a little bit better, and he's eating up well every time after him. We've only got the one problem. The horse, they're getting harder to beat them. But, yeah, I'm pleased with him. He's doing really well. And like I said, he's just taking a little time to come back, which he did last year. And there's not much between all those horses, especially his age group, which there's 3 or 4 of them in that race on Friday. So you've got to be cherry right to beat them. They've all beat me when I haven't been quite right. And then I've beat them when they haven't been quite right. And so... he's got to be cherry ripe to beat him, so I wouldn't be too disappointed in him at the moment.
I reckon he will be cherry ripe this time.
He'll be close to it. He's definitely getting fitter with every run. Steve Turnbull getting suspended was probably not the most ideal thing for him, because then he didn't start the horse. Look, he can win. And most significantly, speaking to Brian Hancock this morning, who has had more drives in the Miracle Mile than anybody else, I said, who would you want to be driving? And he said Smooth Satin. He does have to break a record, be the first horse ever to win from barrier 7 in a Miracle Mile. But he mentioned that fantastic crop of 4-year-olds, and from a few seasons ago that Double Identity came through. Smooth Satin always had the edge on him. Probably more from your perspective, Peter. It's nice to see it turn around a little.
This is the first season we actually beaten Smooth Satin home in a race. He's always had the wood on us. Earlier on we beat Joe Fest. Ocean Spirit gives us a hard time there for a while.
Seals to Sam.
Yeah, but Smooth Satin, not until this year.
Well, it's really happened. It's not a fairy tale. You don't need to pinch yourself.
No, that's true.
You are in the Miracle Mile with an undeniable and realistic chance of winning.
Yes, John, and we'll let the horse do the work, and he'll show me how good he is, I think.
It's going to be a long week, isn't it?
It certainly is.
If I could just say at this stage too, 3 years ago, Brian and I were hoping to win our first Friday night Harold Park race. And what a roller coaster ride since then. You know, we've won a couple now. We've got another young horse that's won one at Harold Park Friday night. But it's just unbelievable to go from hoping to win your first Friday night race to now being a starter in the Miracle Mile.
Yeah.
Really, you can't buy it. It's just a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
A silly question that hasn't been asked before. Where'd you get the name from?
Mixed up in originally in his naming. We thought he was a different horse, and we sent the papers in, and when they came back they said no, that's not the right horse, the brands are wrong, etc. So I tried again, and this time I called him Double Identity. Brian leaves me with all the naming jobs. He's too busy. He's the lucerne and grain man of the operation, and he's probably on the phone now actually trying to organise.
Good name.
It is a good
Good,
name.
strong name. Certainly is, and it'll look lovely sitting there in Miracle Mile history, won't it?
As per usual, 48-hour security guards, so make up the bed for someone, Harry.
They're lucky it's not winter time at Joangia.
I'll say. Well, Harry, congratulations on what you've achieved. You're there.
Thanks very much.
Great training effort, and your driving has been a feature of this horse's performances of late. I think you're driving better than at any stage of your career.
I am, because he likes to be driven aggressively, and that suits me.
Suits you?
Maybe he's like an old wine.
Yeah, he certainly is. Well done, Harry.
Thanks, John.
I'll be looking for you with a microphone and a camera on Friday night before the race.
Okay.
Okay, mate. Peter, congratulations on part-owning a wonderful horse, and I hope the right result comes up for you.
Thanks, John.
See you there, eh?
Thank you. Thanks, Ian.
All right, we'll go to break now with what we call in this business Vox Pops. And that means we wander around a crowded room, we pick a few well-known heads and ask them who they think will win the Miracle Mile.
Extremely interesting race. I'm sure it'll be a great finish. Trying to nominate one, I'd be half inclined to go to Hearts Legend.
And I think this is probably one of the most open Miracle Miles that we've seen for some time, particularly after the barrier draw. But I've got to stick with the form horse at this stage and say Double Identity.
I'm a long-time admirer of New Zealanders, and there haven't been many better New Zealanders than Yule Star in recent years. He's beautifully drawn, he's got a top driver, and he's in form.
Well, we always get a tip from the boys together. Can we get one this year? We had about 6 last year.
Oh, I'm going for Hearts Legend. Norm Jenkins hasn't stopped ringing all week. Johnny, will I get in, mate? Will I get in? In fact, the other day, someone gave him a bit of a mouthful. Who was that, Peter?
And that was me, but listen, I think Norm Jenkins has got something on this man. He must have photos or something. Smooth Satin. Don't worry about barrier 7. Steve, come out of barrier 12, will still win the Miracle Mile. Ben Hurt, Trua, it's the treble. Just remember those words. Don't worry about Norm Jenkins with those photos, John. Just tip the one that you really know.
Yeah, Hearts Legend.
The business